And we are live. Thanks for your patience. Ooh. Just waiting for some folks to show up. Hey, there's Tim. Thanks for joining. Can you hear me all right? Great. Yeah. Thanks for coming trying out StreamYard. See how this works. A little bit short notice planning this, but yeah, I've been pretty involved with this Alaska Atmos redesign and the new Summit card, and a lot happening in credit card land right now, huh? Been wanting to watch. I saw that Frequent Miler just did an episode on what to do for the CSR refresh, and then we got the Platinum refresh is about to come up. So I'm looking to upgrade my Amex Gold to Platinum. Trying to do that before this supposedly before this new increased annual fee comes out later in the month. Tim, so you've got the Accent card. We'll probably do a product change. Yeah, I've never had a personal card with B of A. This is actually my first personal card. I have the Alaska business card, and I'm wondering if I'll keep that. Actually, I spent enough on it this year that when that renews, I'll have the companion pass for that, and then I don't know, like I'll have to see if I'm really going to have a good opportunity to use that original companion pass along with the 25K companion pass that's going to come from the Atmos. So we'll see. I guess the thing that I'm trying to figure out is that if I cancel that business card, as long as that companion pass is already posted to my account, I'm assuming that it'll just stay there credited to my account. I don't need to keep the business account open. But yeah, so you're working on the Platinum business spend. Wow, yeah, that's a project. That takes some planning, huh? Mine's actually, I need to cancel mine. I opened it late August last year, and I know that it's, I mean, you got to get to 1 year after earning the sub in order to cancel it, and I'm there. I think sometimes it's maybe it's best policy to wait until that annual fee actually posts, but that's not going to happen for a couple of weeks. So I might wait till then. I don't really have any need for this card, especially once I re-upgrade back to the platinum from the gold. I'm going to try a little trick with that. I'm going to see if I can get a better offer than what I'm only seeing a 50K offer for upgrade on their website. And I remember last time I did the upgrade, I got 125K MR points. So it'd be nice to, and I got that through the chat. So I'm going to try doing the chat again and see if they have any better offers. But either way, I'll take the 50K if I have to, because I don't really have a need for the gold card. And I do want to lock in a plat before this new higher annual fee, because yeah, I don't know yet if I'm going to be willing to pay the new higher annual fee next year. Yeah, smart to get the biz plat before the refresh. That's cool. I opened my first and only one so far using a no lifetime link. So theoretically, I still haven't used up my one lifetime biz plat yet. I might be able to do that later in the year, but I'm not going to be able to support the spend that I would need to earn that sub anytime soon. So if I do get that, I'll have to just eat that higher annual fee. And I'm a little bit rich in MR points right now anyway, so I don't really know what my next sub. Well, I was thinking about getting the. I'll be eligible to get the another Marriott card. I have the Bonvoy Boundless, and I've been waiting to upgrade that to the Ritz card. And I'm waiting until I hit that 2-year mark, which I'm about to hit 2 years from when I got that first sub, which will be in October. Unfortunately, I think there's an elevated offer for the Brilliant right now, and I think that expires by then. So I don't know. I'm tempted to just try it and see what happens. I was asking Stan. I posted a comment on Stan, as the Marriott expert, and said, "Hey, I could try this, and Amex will just give me a pop-up." So he thinks they would just give me a pop-up. So there might not be any harm in applying. But yeah, I don't think I'll be able to start doing that until October. Then I'll have 4 Amex credit cards. And then I'm debating whether I want to get a third Aspire, even though I'm overly invested in Hyatt for next year. Yeah, the Ritz is cool. I guess my one hesitation is like just one single 85K cert. You know, I'd like to see if I can get, and my biggest worry about the Brilliant card is whether I'm actually going to be able to get out of pop-up jail. I'm always in pop-up jail on personal cards, but I'd like to get that because I want to be able to have 2 certs. I want to be able to stay 2 nights somewhere at a single property. And yeah, getting a little tired of like the one-off cards or the one-off nights, you know, like when I'm finally out of 524, I'd like to get a second IHG card to get a personal to match the business so that I'll have 2 certs to use there. So that's kind of my hesitation with the Ritz, is that I'm not super stoked about only one single 85K cert. You know what I mean? But I know it's a good card otherwise. I might be more motivated to get it as a CSR replacement once I most likely, you know, I don't think when it refreshes next year or renews next year, I don't think I'm going to be willing to pay that higher annual fee on the CSR. And so at that point, I think the Ritz might be a good CSR substitute at that point. Who else? I see we got a few folks in here. Happy to take some questions. Didn't really have anything specifically prepared for this live, other than I figured the theme of the day that I thought would be good to cover is, the co-branded cards versus the general cards. And I think what we're seeing now is that certain co-branded cards are really stepping up their game. I mean, I know on hotel that's definitely been the case, but I feel like airline cards have traditionally been kind of weak. But now that we have this Atmos Summit, I think that there's certain things we're seeing that will make it easier, depending on what our strategy is. I think that's what it all boils down to. You could make the argument that the transferable currencies give the most flexibility. That's true. You could maybe argue that they're the easiest to use, although I would kind of debate that for a few reasons. And I think we're at the point now where we could consider running like a one world only kind of setup, or maybe a hybrid setup where we focus mostly on a specific airline ecosystem and then have some transferable points just kind of as a secondary system for when we're not able to find anything with our primary. But with One World, I think, there's so many options, and, they're easier to book, easier to cancel, especially with this Atmos card, because now it waives all the partner booking fees. Uncle Luke loves his city. You're not the same. You're not Luke's Points and Miles, right? Is that an homage to Luke's Points and Miles? But yeah, I dig my my city executive card. My last video, if you saw it, was actually about probably canceling it though, because I think I'm going to get most of what I need from this Atmos Summit card. I think I'll be able to make do with the 8 lounge passes. I don't specifically need AA lounges. I mostly got the executive card to get access to Alaska lounges and to work on AA status. But I think that this, like I said, in my last video, the Atmos Summit makes it a little bit easier, at least for me, to look at getting One World status via Alaska now instead of American. Luke's asking me, would I rather earn for the same? Which would I rather earn for the same dollars spent? 60K points on a hotel or on an airline? Off the top of my head, I might actually say hotel. I mean, like with Hyatt, you can find a lot of decent category 2 and 3 properties where you only need 8,000 points a night to get a pretty nice stay. And yeah, I mean, at least like with Hyatt, there's not as many transferable. I just feel like there's more opportunities with all the different points currencies for booking flights than there are hotels. But yeah, outside of Hyatt, only like Accor, which I'm not too familiar with, has like decent value like per point. But just in terms of flexibility, Hyatt's pretty good at finding things at the lower and the higher end, whereas programs like Hilton and Marriott really only give you decent value at the high end, I find. AA hotels, 150K AA points in 2 weeks at an IHG hotel. That's phenomenal. Wow. I'd like to see some more details on that. Yeah, I mean, I did a couple of AA hotels last year, and it hasn't really fit into my flow for this year. I mean, I have been focusing on Hyatt a lot, and so I do need to book direct when I do that. But yeah, I guess I've been finding the markups. I was starting to look at a couple boutiques for next year, and the markups were too high to be worth the miles. So I don't know. I have heard. I saw there's another channel I was seeing that maybe Marriott, maybe that particular brand, the markups aren't as bad through AA hotels. Oh, I see, Tim. Yeah, yeah. So, Tim, thanks for clarifying. So, Tim said he would put 15K on 4 Surpass cards. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so now I get what we're talking. We're talking about like, would we put 60K, let's say, on the Atmos card to get the 100K companion? I don't know. I'm not super stoked about that. I mean, even if I really could organize my finances that way, I mean, I suppose I could if I was willing to give up subs. But what does that work out to be? A maximum of 100K worth of points for 60K of spend. That's not even an extra 2K points per dollar. So I'm not really that impressed with that. And you're not actually getting 100K. You're getting a companion certificate up to a max value of 100K. So it's not actually worth 100K. So yeah, I'm not super stoked about that. I like the World of Hyatt card, at least for up to 15K. Although it's for every 15. So for every 15, you get a category 1 through 4 free night, which is, depending on where you stay, is usually worth about 200, maybe even 300. Plus, you're getting 6 elite nights. So if you are going for globalist status, then yeah, I do find that a good way. Now, is that better than having an uncapped free night on the Surpass? I mean, better. I mean, it really depends on your use case. I mean, yeah, unquestionably, the uncapped free night with Hilton has higher potential value. But yeah, you can only do that once per year. So yeah, you would need to have 4 different cards like Tim's talking about. But I do have 2 Hilton Honors cards that I'm kind of waiting to upgrade both of those to Aspires, and seeing whether I want to get a 3rd Aspire. I might wait to do that till next year, but that is kind of my end game. I would like to have 3 Aspires. So Luke's saying 12.5 a night loyalty points for the booking times a 30% bonus. Then 10x per dollar on the back end and the city executive bonus. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how much those miles. I mean, I'll give you an example. Like, I was looking at a property in Mexico that is normally $140 a night, but through the AA portal, it was 210. So maybe it was 230. All I remember is that the price premium with the extra fees tacked on compared to doing it through like booking.com or something was an extra $90. And even with the 10x, I believe I remember calculating that that I would be paying, I think, at least 1.5 cents per mile, which is not too bad. That's not too bad. But, for me, I'm getting close to just clinching Platinum Pro for next year. I'm definitely going to just stop at that. I don't really need to hit EP for next year. Executive Platinum. It was cool this year, to snag some upgrades, but yeah, it's not going to be in the cards for me to hit that for next year. I'm going to hit Platinum Pro and call it a day, and then start switching over my loyalty to Alaska. And I do have a lot booked with them. I think that I have a good use case for earning loyalty points, whatever they call them now, for Alaska, just through partner awards. Yeah, 3 Aspires, 1,500. Yeah, I would only do it because I find that it's relatively easy to use the credits on that card compared to other Amex cards. Uh, you know, I mean, without having to overvalue. That's what I like about the Aspire. You don't have to overvalue the free nights that you get, because I feel like it's not that hard to liquidate the airline credit and the resort credit. Luke likes the system wide upgrades. Yeah, I haven't quite dipped my toe in that. I'm wondering how that works. So, because I know, for example, like it has to be a cash fare. So let's say that you book a cash fare in economy from wherever, somewhere in the U.S. to London. Uh, the system wide upgrade will take you to the next cabin, right? So if your hope is to try to get to business, wouldn't that mean that you'd have to have a premium economy seat originally? That would be my question. Diamond status. Yeah, I've gotten some decent upgrades with Hilton Diamond. Um, yeah, I actually haven't had a Surpass yet. I had the old Hilton Business card, which I missed because that was a clone before they. I don't know if nerfed is exactly the right word. It's probably not nerfed for high volume businesses, but for credit card enthusiasts, yeah, they kind of killed that card. So yeah, I mean, I'll take whatever Hilton card I can get another no lifetime language link, because again, I mean, that's the only way I get around the pop up jail. Yeah, I need to see a no lifetime. Actually, Joe Barretto, he just shared a no lifetime link for an Aspire with me, but I don't know. I want to line that up so that those free night certs post at the same time or close to it. So I'm trying to time that. I mean, I guess I could upgrade those other two now, but then I'm starting the clock. I mean, I'm not sure when I would use those, if I could use those in time. But yeah, I mean, actually, I gotta think about that. Well, I mean, part of why I wanted to do it towards the end of the year is that I would be delaying paying those annual fees, but still be able to cash out on the calendar year benefits. So I was kind of aiming for November. So I'd like to hold off a couple more months before upgrading my two Hiltons. I don't know if I need that third Aspire yet. I have enough Hilton points that, like let's say I'm trying to find a 3 night stay at a fancy Waldorf or something. I could use the 2 free nights, and then I have like 200K points. So I'd only need 120K. Well, I guess now up to maybe 150K at certain properties for that third night. So I might be able to get away with not having that third Aspire yet. Tim has the Alaska MVP. Good benefits. Yeah, I should be able to hit that this year in parallel with the AA status I've been working on, and that'll definitely like kind of help give me a head start for next year. So let's see. So Luke's saying on British Airways, you need premium economy to get to business. He books 3x $500 economy from Haneda to Miami. Cleared all 3 to business via suite upgrade. Purchase price would have been $13,000 each. Wait, so okay, wow. So 3 tickets all upgraded. So I didn't realize that. I thought it would have been one system-wide upgrade per passenger. So it's good to know that it's for like the whole PNR. That's cool. So okay, so I guess that's just specific. What you're saying is just specifically BA. If you're booking with BA, then you need to already have booked into premium economy to use the system-wide upgrade to move into business. But flying AA from Japan, or maybe AA in general. Oh no, you did have to use 1 per person. Okay, but still. So it sounds like you don't need to book premium economy on AA metal, right? That's what you're saying? That's cool. There's Nick getting ready for work. We'll have to catch the replay. Thank you, Nick. Thanks for the support. Yeah, we're gonna end a little early today because I saw the other Luke, Luke's Points and Miles. He has his live stream coming up in just a half hour. Right now it's 6:30 p.m. Eastern and 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast where I am. Luke likes to book a lot of $235 basic economy tickets to Rio, Brazil, and system-wide upgrade to AA business. Wow, that's a pro maneuver. I'd love to get back to Rio in Brazil, but specifically Rio is the very first place that I ever went abroad, and I would love to go back. I have a lot of Brazilian friends, so. That's interesting. You know, I've heard that Latam is a good way to do it. I'm not sure if you've compared flying on AA metal. I mean, it sounds like to really obviously, I mean, you need to, other than with BA, right? You need to fly on AA metal. Have you been happy with the business class product with AA? I know a lot of people like United Polaris because the bedding that you get is great. And like for me, that's the number one thing. Like I want to know that I'm going to be able to sleep. I'm kind of surprised that people don't talk about that more. I mean, maybe I'm just like a fussy sleeper. I don't know, but everyone's always focusing on everything else, but like how well they slept. And everyone seems to generally prefer the foreign carriers for like how exciting the overall product is. But then the irony is that from the reviews that you read, you actually see that at least with regards to the bedding that you get and the pillows and so forth is often not as good on some of the international carriers. So Luke's saying the SWU doesn't show on your AA profile. Wait, I'm sorry. You said SWA available doesn't show on your AA profile unless you have some SWU in your account. I'm not sure. Would you mind explaining that? Luke says United and Delta is usually 250K miles to Brazil. Yeah, that's rough. Michael Wong, thanks for stopping by. Y'all should check out his channel, Michael Wong Travels. He walks the walk as well as anyone else that I know in this game. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate all of your mentorship as I learn how to do some of this more complicated stuff. And it looks like you just flew AA metal to CPH. I don't know that airport code. Disappointing. JetBlue Mint, Polaris, Delta One. AA. So I guess that sounds like that's an order of your preferences for domestic biz. American as low as 45K, but typically 57.5K to Brazil. That's a great price. That's a long way. It's a long flight. Michael, where's next on your travel radar? But yeah, let me I'm curious to see. I mean, this whole theme of like co-branded versus general cards. I think that we're talking a lot about One World Airlines right now. We're talking about the AA executive card. We're talking about the Alaska Atmos Summit card. And I think and obviously we're talking a lot about hotel cards, such as the Aspire and the World of Hyatt card. So yeah, I mean it's a question of which of these cards offer not just benefits, right? I mean, we all know that co-branded cards are typically really, they're usually sock drawer cards, right? But now we're seeing cards that are forcing us via sometimes annoying credits or encouraging us via multipliers and other things, or different spending milestones, like on some of the cards I just mentioned, that make it a little bit more feasible, depending on our use case, to consider using co-branded cards sometimes instead of general transferable points. And I think that's actually could be a pretty good way to go. And I think if you know where you're interested in going, if you know what types of availability there generally is based on your preferred partners, then yeah, I think that there's definitely some advantages to using the co-branded cards in favor, using co-branded over the transferable points cards. And one of those is having a good catch-all, a catch-all card for everyday spend. Now, the king of that still is the Venture X, because you get those 2x Venture miles on every dollar. There's no international fees. But if you have a card, even if it only gives you 1x on base spend, you do have elevated categories, but then you also have these spend thresholds. And depending on what it is that you're aiming for, you could argue that those thresholds are giving you more total value per dollar than that missing 1x Venture mile that you would have gotten. Cesar, bienvenido. Thanks for coming by. Michael Wong is saying the Qatar card is strong, provides One World Sapphire status. Let's see, he's off to ATH. I don't know what that airport is. And IST, I know that's Istanbul. Excited to try Turkish J. Cool. I'd like to hear more about this Qatar card. Is that just like the first year? I thought I remember that being like one of the, like a first year perk. It's not going to keep giving you Sapphire every year, right? Luke is saying, okay, system-wide upgrades. Once you pass 175K loyalty points, you get 2 of those. And then we search for a flight. It shows a new tab for SWU available. Okay. Yeah, what did I hit like just enough to get executive platinum on AA last year. I decided to take the 25K miles because I wasn't confident that I was going to be able to use that system wide. So I kind of chickened out, but I thought, hey, 25K, at least that's half a business class ticket to many places. But yeah, curious to the viewers right now. What do you think about this? Like, we do seek the continued growth of co-branded cards. Whereas the general premium travel cards, I think, are, I don't know, they're kind of losing their luster a little bit, right? Like they're turning into more work and more costs just to get the same level of benefit and service that we got before. And I think they really only work out for you if you were already using those providers. But I just wonder, like, how many people are specifically already using Chase Edit, already using StubHub and some of these other things. Um, oh yeah, and there's the $5 a month DoorDash credit. I almost forgot. I guess I should go do that. I don't know. My $5. Cesar says Michael has a nice video on mid-tier hotel cards. I got to check that out. I didn't see that one yet. Uncle Luke got the Emirates Barclays card last month to book first class on the A380. Wow, that's ballin'. Wow, where'd you go with? Or where are you going? Where are you going on that one? Michael, I wanted to ask you about JetBlue Mint. What's a good way to book that other than having 1,000,000 JetBlue points? Tim likes the freebie nights, free bags. Yeah, from the co-brand cards. Yeah. Yeah, the perks are straightforward. And if you don't mind holding multiple cards, I mean, that's kind of the irony of all this, right? It's like, it might actually be simpler and less work to hold multiple co-brand cards than to do all of the babysitting and managing of just getting your value out of a single premium card, or at least when those cards are either the CSR or the Amex Platinum. Cesar's at a point where you can only have and manage one if we travel a lot. Just one, you mean like one premium card? What's your Cesar? What's your preferred? I mean, I know you're going to say platinum, right? How do you feel about the refresh? Luke did looks like Singapore to Dubai, 117,000 miles. Yeah, for that, you know, that's very aspirational. Seems like a pretty good redemption. Let's see. Luke did JAL, the A350 first class, 90K. That's tight. Nicely done. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I flew their J on their 787 last year, and it was decent. I learned the hard way not to get a seat too close to the galley if you're hoping to sleep, because that meal service went late, man. I was like, by the time I finally fell asleep, I don't know. I did not sleep that well on that flight. I was really hoping to get some sleep. But yeah, that's, I'd like to try that JAL A350. I love their service, love their food. I'm sure the first class has got to be phenomenal. I did get to go into their One World, not the one. What I through having One World Emerald status, I was able to go into their first class lounge in Haneda, and that was quite nice, even on only being on a J ticket. Let's see, Luke's saying the Etihad A380 residence for 115K AA points. Oh, that's upgrades from first class. Oh wow. Wait, so that's an additional. The residence is an additional 115,000 on top of the first class ticket. Had to fly to Europe to catch it. Needed 2 seats. I've never seen first class from USA on points. Well, if you have the time and patience to do that, my hat's off to you. Yeah. uh, yeah, I'm trying to work it out with my P2 right now because I definitely have a much higher appetite for long distance travel than she does, and I'm still pretty new to all of this, these more aspirational kinds of trips, and new to doing them more solo. So trying to strike that balance between couples travel and solo travel. Okay, Luke says free upgrade from first class to residence, upgraded as checking. Okay, wow, amazing. That's nuts. Like to see. Yeah, if you have, you should post a video on that. I hope you got some good footage from that. It's crazy. Cesar says Air Canada is a good program for couples playing the game with points pooling. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I've actually haven't booked anything with them yet. I still have a bunch of Avianca Life Miles that I need to burn first as far as Star Alliance stuff goes. And yeah, Michael and I, he's been helping me look at strategy for booking a flight to Taipei, Taiwan next year. And I'm open to having like a short layover in Japan if that works. But either way, yeah, right now my plan is to position from California up to Vancouver, BC, and then take an Air China flight at 2 a.m, direct to Taipei. And I got that with KLM miles in business class for like 60 something thousand. So that was a good deal. But yeah, I mean, it's a semi-long positioning. I mean, it's not that bad. I'm not crazy about the 2 a.m. because that means like who knows what time it's actually going to be by the time that I'm able to get some sleep. And I don't know. I mean, I'd love to see just like a daytime flight, but it only really is going to work if it leaves in the morning. And I'm not even seeing even any with economy. Like I just don't see who's scheduled to do that at least from SFO. So that would be my preferred way. Yeah, I mean, because then I wouldn't even mind necessarily because I'm flying back in Starlux. So I got that. So now I'm building my itinerary around that Starlux flight. And yeah, just trying to find a way to get there that isn't going to be a huge hassle. Yeah, I think if I can find some availability on J, with JAL or with, I would like to try ANA. And but yeah, I guess if I'm flying economy, if I can just find like a daytime flight, get to Japan, stay there for a couple days, and then hop on over to Taipei. Luke he's got a TikTok in-flight Luke. All right, I'll look for that. Planned that trip last month for a year. Nicely done. Cesar says lots of availability and good for international and domestic flights. Yeah, I've heard Frequent Miler. They've talked about Aeroplan a lot, and one of the reasons I like them is because they have a one of the broader set of partners. Like they have a lot of non-Star Alliance partners that you have access to. I just wish they did something like Avianca with the Life Miles subscription. I guess that's just the price you got to pay for those cancellation and change fees. But yeah, I don't love that because I want to be able to just book something and not hesitate. And maybe that's just sort of the cost of this hobby is like you find something that's cool, and if you can't do it, then okay, you just eat that 150 or $200 or whatever. But at least Avianca gives you that ability to get something back, because at least you're getting those free miles that you get each month if you pony up for their subscription. So that's one of the things I'm considering. Actually, I'm considering getting the Life Miles Light subscription. Um, I don't know if I would come out ahead versus just realistically, how many flights I'm booking and how many cancellation fees I would be paying realistically, but I am considering that. Luke, he did Tokyo to Taipei to Bangkok for 40K during a typhoon. Whoa. He wants to go back when there's no storms. What time of year was that? Yeah, I'm going in May. Hopefully that's before. I mean, I know it's not like the best season yet weather-wise, but says go the long way. Do 60K to Paris on AA, then 90K to Tokyo and JAL, then 20K to Taipei via Eva Air. Wow. Yeah, that'd be a complete round the world trip. We'll see if I can swing that. That's an interesting idea. 60K to Paris on AA, 90K to Tokyo and JAL, 20K to Taipei on EVA via Air Canada. Okay. That's serious business. So maybe some hotel talk for a bit, yeah? So I'm finally getting closer to hitting Hyatt Globalist. I mean, I hit the Globalist Light, as they call it, last year from a match or from a promo, and so I'm about to hit full Globalist. It's been a lot of work, but it's been cool getting to try it out this year, and I'll have it to use next year. And I think it is a good way of getting some extra value out of places that, yeah, I mean, places where you can find decent quality mid-range properties. I think my most interesting one this year was the Andaz in West Hollywood. I was going to see the show there, and I was upgraded the biggest suite I've ever been in. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And so that was cool because I was able to just book the base rate, which was, I don't know, like maybe $250, which is like for an Andaz in a high cost of living area like in LA was, I was happy with that. And they had a good restaurant, so like the free breakfast I got was, yeah, it was quite nice. And we've been talking about Hilton. I am debating like what the timing is. This might have been before Cesar showed up, but yeah, I think what I'm aiming to do right now is to upgrade both of my Hilton Honors cards back up to Aspires in November to have enough time to cash out on the quarterly and biannual credits from that. And yeah, kind of delay the annual fees on those a little bit longer and give me just some more time, okay? Because the clock starts on using those free nights. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to use those in the first half of next year. So having a little bit more time to use those would be nice. I think I'm finally getting closer, despite getting this Alaska Atmos card, to being under 524, so I can get that second IHG card. So yeah, I am thinking of getting at some point, getting a Citibank card, like a Premier or maybe the Premier Elite. But yeah, that's going to make it tougher to get out of 524 on time. But I would like to have it because then I can do transfers to Eva Air, and I can have the 1 to 2 transfers to Choice. And yeah, I mean that was one of the reasons. But there was also, what was the hotel? Now I just kind of lost. What would you use the City Premier for hotels? What was I just thinking that I just lost? I was the thank you points. Eva Choice points. Yeah, Filmo, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, Andaz, that was my first Andaz. I was happy with it. I liked the vibe. Let's see. Hilton, Luke's asking, is the Hilton free night cert per calendar year? No. No, you get them about 6 to 8 weeks after your anniversary date. Yeah. Caesar says it's only a couple weeks after you get the card. Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize it was that quick. Still trying to remember what that why I thought of the Citibank for hotels. What am I missing? All right, let's go through this. So not for Hilton, not for Hyatt, not for Wyndham. I mean, you can. I mean that can, yeah, that can help out if you need to top off for Wyndham, but I'm not going to get it for Wyndham. Choice could come in handy. I know they're useful in like Scandinavia. Accor, I know, can be useful in Europe. Yeah, so maybe that was it. I don't know. I don't know. My brain went there. Yeah. Speaking of Wyndham, I'm gonna, after our meetup is done, I'm gonna go get to hang out at the what was it called? The Grand Rio. Is that right? The Wyndham Grand Rio for a couple nights with some of my Wyndham points for 15K per night. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, there's the AA miles. I'm surprised I didn't say that. It's only because I'm like pretty good. I've got about 200K AA miles right now, but I'm sure I'll get through those quick. I got a lot more Alaska points to use though. I have to try to prioritize using those up first if I can before they devalue. But who knows when AA is going to devalue, right? I mean, yeah, Tim mentions the city is the 300 for 2 nights. Yeah, with the with the elite card. Yep. I think I was thinking of that. In lieu of getting that third Aspire. Would I though? I don't know. I mean, I do like, I like having access to more potential transfer bonuses is always cool. Well, look at that. Well, you know what? We're just about at time here. I want to give everyone the chance to migrate over to Luke's Points and Miles is about to have a live stream. So we'll keep it short and sweet today. But yeah, this was a fun discussion. I got to figure out if I can save all of these comments because so many great ideas on flight redemptions and some super aspirational stuff. And yeah, we're still in the golden age, huh? For Points and Miles. So yeah, keep it coming, and would love to hear more about some of the hotels that you're staying at, and what are some great ways to use your points from your different hotel programs. So let's keep the conversation going, and let's all take care of each other. Ciao, y'all.